What is going on, guys? This is Epic Spartan the 100 here, and today I'm bringing you my 100% honest Bleeding Edge video. Now, I'm recording this a couple days after the last beta ended. There's a few days until the beta's release, and so this is what I think of the game so far as balances, features, content. Excuse me if I don't cover everything that should be covered. It has been a couple days, and I did not get to play all weekend. And I don't have any numbers or like specifics. I'm just going off of what I've heard the community talk about and what I personally felt during the beta. So the big thing I'm going to talk about during this video is the balance between characters, but I do want to talk about the fact that I still experienced some connectivity and frame rate issues during the beta that really needs fixed. I'm sure that's something they're already aware of, already trying to fix, and of course I appreciate all the work they've put into the game, but like that really hinders the experience, and that needs to be fixed really quickly. I really appreciate the background music that was added. It's really good music, and it gets louder in the downtime between fights, and it mixes so that it's not overpowering the fight so that you can't hear anything. So that's really nice. The music was really well done. It's really good music, so props to them on that. I really hope they add maps frequently, or it becomes like a map pool, because playing on the same 3 maps over and over again with only 2 game modes was kind of mind-numbing. I like the game, I like it a lot, but with just the 2 objectives, just the 3 maps, it was really repetitive, and I'm hoping the rate of which new maps come out is somewhat frequent, like one every few months or something like that, and then of course the occasional new game modes, and I'm sure there'll be a ranked eventually, so maybe that'll change it. I'm a big fan of all the boards and the stuff you can do with the boards. I really don't have any complaints about that. I love the feature that they added to where you can set a board to all fighters instead of having to go into each individual one. And I'm really looking forward to getting enough credits to buy each fighter their own personalized board. Buy a board specific to them, paint, trail that looks like matches that character. I've already done it for Gizmo, and I've done it for Needhogger, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to skins. We haven't seen any skins yet as far as I know. We've seen what comes in the pre-order pack, but as far as some base skins that are coming out once the game is released, we haven't seen yet, and I'm really excited to see those. Right now, one of the biggest problems I have with this game, and part of the reason why I think healers are so hard to play right now, is the parry system. They tried to buff the parry, and I still don't think it's worth it. There's some characters that don't need the parry as bad, like the ranged damage dealers. They have escapes. Like Maeve has invisible, can go invisible. I speak English. Gizmo has the bounce pad. Cass has those 2 swoops and like a high jump. So yeah, I mentioned the healers specifically for a reason, but I'll talk about the balance later. Just right now, the parry is still not doing anything for me. It's still really hard to pull off, and I still don't feel like even when you do pull it off, it's enough of a payoff. Generating that extra stamina gives you the opportunity to dash toward them or away, but even then, so many characters have mobility abilities, that's fun, that they can get away from you or catch up to you. So just the parry feels very unfair, very unfun, and I don't know what they're gonna do about the parry. I still don't think that's enough. I love the changes they made to the power cells. The fact that they break quicker, but they show up in less in a group. And it was the pace and gameplay was pretty subtle but noticeable. The game moved quicker, but not as fast. Does that make sense? You moved in between phases a lot quicker, but the progress of the game didn't change all that much because there was one less to collect, and there's still the big fight that goes on in between phases that decides, who gets a bunch of power cells. So that was a good change. Okay, I think that's everything that I wanted to cover, or that I should cover. Now I'm gonna go through every character and talk about how I think they fit into the roster, and if something should be changed, buffed or nerfed. And literally going down the line, starting with DPS, Daemon, I felt like was super solid and not overpowered. If there was one thing I would change about Daemon, maybe how long the stealth lasts. But other than that, he doesn't do so much damage that the sleep combo is super oppressive and annoying. You can get away, but it's effective enough to cause a problem. Shift, really good for catching up or getting away. Shuriken slows you down, lowers your health, but not at a super crazy rate. The range for Shuriken is nice. Maybe the range for Shuriken is a little long, but that's me like shooting in the dark. I don't think that's a problem. I don't know why I'm even suggesting that. I don't think Daemon has any huge problems. Shuriken might throw a little far, but Deathmark and Shadow Strike, I think Deathmark is the obvious, way better super to use, because Shadow Strike is super hard to land. It's so easy to walk out of, and once people walk out of it, all you are is invincible and can't be killed. Something that doesn't need to be fixed about Daemon is it was really annoying trying to pull off his wall jump. You would be next to a wall and try to wall jump, and it wouldn't work. You would have to try it for a second or third time. And it wasn't just me. I saw other people struggle with it as well, having to try at least a second time. So I don't know if that's just a bug or whatever, but the wall jump wasn't really that easy to pull off as it should have been. Next, we have Gizmo. Now, I wanted to upload a video specifically about this, but as you saw in my Baby Rage video, it didn't really go that well. But I truly believe Gizmo is the most overpowered in the DPS category. She is a ranged damage dealer like Maeve and Cass. Cass is a hybrid. But the reason I think Gizmo is way better than Maeve is Maeve, to reach that maximum potential, needs those resets, and if you're not working with your team, you're not going to get those very often. If you're working with your team and communicating, you can say, hey, let me kill this person, get the final blow so that I can get the reset. With Gizmo, you don't need any resets. In fact, if you just hold one button, your thing never resets or reloads or cools down, and you just shoot at maximum power for eternity. So yeah. Her GG gun slowly shoots faster over time, and it gets to the point to where if you never stop shooting, you can just shoot everyone at maximum fire rate, causing continuous poke damage. If you're in range and not getting contested, you're constantly doing that same damage to anyone you're targeting, and it's constant. There's counters to Gizmo, like Daemon, Bastardo, Cass, people who can dive you and out stamina you, maybe out mobility you. So those are a problem. And Zero Cool's healing, you cannot shoot. You can't hit hard enough to get through Zero Cool's healing. So if you're shooting someone Zero Cool is pocketing, might as well just target someone else. But these are all a bunch of factors that you can work around. And with the divers like Daemon and Cass, they're not that hard to fight off with the Sucker Bomb, the T-Ruts, and the Bouncers. And worst comes to worst, you use Rocket to stun them for a second and let your abilities cool down. I genuinely think a Gizmo is super powerful and super easy to use, and something should probably be changed, but I don't know what that would be, because if you made her fire rate just a little bit slower, she would be really weak then. But if you made her damage do less, then shooting at a really slow speed does hardly any damage. So I don't know how that could be balanced, or maybe it's just me. Again, I don't have numbers. I'm just speaking from experience, what I believe. I'm not claiming this is God-given truth. The Sucker Bomb also has the ability to like cancel the channeling of supers. So like Toil, Bubble, and Toil and Trouble, whatever it's called, Maeve's super. They stop that. You can stop Needhogger's Chain Lightning, whatever that's called. And Rocket was my favorite super. If you rode it far enough, it did, you know, a DPS or a healer's half health, and then really easy to burst down with the rest of your team. Overall, Gizmo is very powerful, very easy to use. Maybe not as overpowered as I personally think, but out of all the DPS, she is definitely the easiest and the easiest to do the most damage with. Now, Needhogger is the person I wanted to be my favorite because he is a really cool character. And I don't have anything to say about his kit other than Shredder. I don't know why Shredder is a thing. I don't think it does any damage to be worth trying to use. I just don't get Shredder's existence at all. I never used Death Growl because I did not understand the value of it over Ride the Lightning. I assumed silence all nearby enemies, meaning they can't use any abilities. But they can't use any abilities while getting stunned, plus they're getting damaged with Ride the Lightning. So I don't know what the trade-off is for using Death Growl instead. Now, the only thing I would say Needhogger might need changed, I feel like it's way too easy to hit people with Boomatoar, which is weird because I don't think it was that way in the first round of the beta. I felt like in the second beta, it like almost homed onto the target. Before, you would have to line it up so that it would come back and hit them, but now it homes into the target so that it's almost guaranteed, unless they're moving a lot, to hit them and stun them. And the range is crazy. It was a lot of fun to have a target one shot running away and then throw my Boomatoar and finish him off. It just felt like sometimes it shouldn't have reached as far as it did. So Boomatoar and Shredder are like, Shredder, why does it exist? Boomatoar might need a little tuning. Next, we have Maeve. This is an extremely powerful character, and with teamwork, I'm pretty sure she's going to dominate any ranked scene that we might see for Bleeding Edge. And I think the huge reason for that is Cage. Vanish is just... I'm convinced Vanish was put into the game purely just to piss people off. Having a Maeve one shot and then her Vanish is super annoying. But it's probably good for her because it's a good escape, obviously. Siphon Life, super powerful, but has a long cooldown. And now Cage also has a long cooldown. My problem with Cage is it either lasts too long, or another way to change it is that to shorten its range, trap an enemy so that the team can focus them. If that's the case, you know, can't be able to use it to stop somebody from escaping, you know? I just feel like there's a lot of other abilities that do that, so Cage doesn't need to. You can limit Cage just so that it targets somebody close by so that the team can target them, like a tank or a healer. If DPS is running off to grab a medkit, I don't feel like that's what this ability should be used for, but this ability can reach so far, it's so easy to trap them and then finish them off with Siphon. I feel like the use for Cage needs to be more specific, and the fact that it can do a lot of those different things really easily just makes it too powerful. Another note, Toil and Trouble is kind of insane. Does a ton of damage. I don't know if it's supposed to do that much damage, but my god, it's terrifying. Now, last in the DPS category, we have Cass. Cass, I thought, was super underpowered at first. They made a change so that her Rake did more damage, and one of the default mods wasn't to increase her base damage. So I think the reg damage was good. I didn't play Cass at all the second time around, although I do have a clip to show you from this tweet that they tagged the Bleeding Edge Twitter in. Cass has some insane mobility, which is where a lot of her power is going to come from. I did not realize how mobile she was until I saw this clip. This clip is insane, so go ahead and take a look at it.
Capturing objective B was foreseen.
I must get closer.
Stop them at once. They cannot have objective C.
Dance like death.
Objectives deactivated.
And see, that was never something I thought about trying, or like it ever dawned on me it could be that crazy. And I hope they don't change that. That looked like a ton of fun, and there are ways to counter it if it's that big of a problem. I don't think this is a change, and I don't think this is something that needs changed. I think this is good, especially with how low her health is and how little damage she can maybe do, because her range damage isn't that much. This mobility is huge, and she needs it to be effective. Okay, so that's it for the DPS. Now we're going to move on to the healers, and this is where I feel really strongly on. I'm going to talk about Miko and Kalev. I don't think these two can be ran as solo healers, and I'm really upset to say that. It's a team of 4, and there's 3 healers. I think if there's going to be only 4 people on a team with so few healers to pick from, they all should be able to run solo. Now, I don't have any numbers. I didn't, do a poll on some Twitter. I don't know. I just, from what I played and what I saw other people play, I don't think Kalev and Miko can run solo healing. And with only 4 people on a team, they all should be capable of doing so. I think Kalev has a much better chance of doing so than Miko. But we'll talk about Kalev later. Chain Heal has a cooldown of 6 seconds, if I remember correctly. And it's a small burst heal that connects to 2 teammates. And it's about 600 healing. It might be 200. I think it's 200. So it's a little healing every 6 seconds. Stasis is a super good move. Kinetic Shield is a really good move. Kinetic Shield is really good for countering like a Zero Cool or Maeve because it blocks their beams. But she is a healer, and I believe she should be able to run solo, and the way she is now, she can't do that. Her augmetic staff, heals nearby allies and herself when she lands a basic attack, but it's so healing and really difficult to land a hit that it's not that effective, because it's so easy to get stunned or by a Needhogger or a Buttercup, or just by a basic combo from Damon. It's really hard to get a hit off, and with only having that small burst every 6 seconds, makes it really hard to sustain even yourself, let alone an entire team. And she does have a mod that makes it so that every basic attack reduces the cooldown of all the abilities by 0.15 seconds. And if they're going to keep the way Miko is, that mod needs a buff. I'd 0.20, 0.25, something. I like playing Miko. I really do. She's a really cool character. Every character in this game is really cool. I really like all the characters. I strongly believe Miko isn't strong enough. Next we have Kalev. Kalev, I feel pretty similar about. I might be underestimating Kalev. I've seen him work a lot better than Miko as a solo healer. My problem with Kalev is his sacred ground has that little like deity in the middle that emits the sacred ground, and that has a health bar that if the enemy targets, they can destroy. So then your team doesn't have any healing. Again, he does have a passive that will continuously heal the people around him. It's called Lucky Charm. It's a very slow, very small AoE healing. Sacred Ground is where the actual healing comes from. Now, the Sacred Ground stays on the ground for the whole 10-12 seconds, then you once again can cast Sacred Ground almost back to back. But if they destroy Sacred Ground 2 seconds into the cooldown, you don't have any sufficient healing for 10 seconds. So I just think Sacred Grounds, the health needs a buff, so it's not so easy to destroy. Or if you're gonna have it that low of health, make the Sacred Grounds bigger or heal more. I don't think Sacred Ground is dependable enough. Again, Good Omen is a super good move to keep Kulev alive or to keep a ally alive. Good Omen is a really good move, and so is Curse. Every other part of his kit and Miko's kit is super good, but the healing part, since they are healers, should be dependable. And they aren't. Not to mention, both Kulev supers are really fun, really powerful, and the Bamboozle is just one of the funniest things in the game you could ever do. Now, Zero Cool is the exception. I really enjoyed playing Zero Cool, and he's super easy and a super dependable, super reliable healer. I mean, it's a persistent healing beam that once they get full or near full, you just switch to someone else, and you don't do anything but heal. And then he has plenty of moves to make sure he can escape, like the Nitro that makes him jump upward, the Firewall to block physical contact, the Bot to shoot at enemies, and there's a mod that allows the bot to heal whoever it's protecting. So Zero Cool, all around really easy and dependable healer, unlike the other two. And now I think what else makes the other two healers so undependable is the fact that the parry system is still so hard to execute and doesn't have enough payoff that it's really hard for them to defend themselves and for it to be worth it. Zero Cool is such an obvious pick, and I think is so much better than the other two healers, and I really believe this with a lot that I got. Like, Zero Cool is the superior healer unless you are running Miko and Kulev together. But again, I don't think that should be the case. Next, we have the tanks. Of course, we didn't get to play as Meko, so I won't be talking about Meko. We're going to start with El Bastardo. El Bastardo is a really good tank. Why? He's extremely hard to kill. In my first beta, and the first couple of videos I made, I kept saying El Bastardo was a glorified DPS. That's not true. He does do a lot of damage, but the fact he can soak up so many hits and so much damage, making him extremely difficult to kill, that's, part of a good tank. Having a reliable meat shield is also something a tank should be. And so the fact he's constantly generating armor, makes him last a lot longer, even without a dependable healer. I don't know if he's too hard to kill. A lot of the time he was just annoying. I don't think it was ever too much. It was just more annoying to see a Bastardo living a lot longer than everybody else. But I don't think Bastardo is at all overpowered. Just more annoying than anything else. Buttercup is my favorite tank. I'm pretty sure I've seen other people talk about the fact that she's overpowered. I might agree. She does a ton of damage and cannot get stunned by basic attacks. So even when she's getting attacked, she's able to swing back, and she has a ton of health, a ton of CC, and she's a powerhouse. She's, I'm pretty sure she's the best tank until we see Meko. Yank has a super long distance, and you can pull off this combo with Yank to where you jump in the air, yank him, and then slam him down. That momentarily stuns him. I think that could be wrong. Oil Slick is a very small CC AoE, but it lasts for a really long time. I saw people complaining about the fact that it lasts too long. I think I agree with that. I think they should make it last shorter, but make the Oil Slick a little bigger, because it is super small and super easy to evade out of. But it definitely lasts for a little too long. Whiplash is a pretty basic move. It doesn't do that much damage. It's just another AoE, hit multiple targets. Whiplash was a fine move. Both those supers were really solid. Burnout and Turbo Charged. I think I like Burnout more. And with Burnout, you also have the potential to knock somebody off the map or into a train. Yeah, so Buttercup, powerhouse, probably overpowered, probably needs nerfed. Makudu, the barge buff that was given to him before the second beta was huge, very needed. I'm glad they did that. He felt a lot stronger. Again, a lot harder of a character to play, and I didn't play him all that much. But Makoto feels like a really unique, really fun character. I don't know if they could change anything about him to make him more effective. He could stand his ground, help a teammate, disrupt the enemy team, and Barge feels like it actually does something now. So I really feel like Makuta is in a pretty good spot. And there we go, guys. So I talked about all the general stuff at the beginning. I talked about each of the characters. The healer thing is what I feel the strongest about, for sure. The healer situation really pissed me off during the beta, and maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, I'm not saying anything of what I'm saying is fact. I'm speaking my mind. I'm open to conversation in the comments. If somebody has their own thought or something they want to say, please feel free to talk about it in the comments. I will be there. I heart every comment, and if I feel like it needs a response, I respond. Now let's remember that Mecha will be out within the launch window, and the map Landslide will also be there along with some skins. So there's a lot to look forward to, and I'm really hoping this game can last, make a good impression, and eventually have a ranked community. I really want to like this game. I really want to stick with this game, and I'm really hoping I can make some good videos for my audience. Thank you guys so much for the support on these Bleeding Edge videos. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure you do. If you enjoy the video, make sure to hit the like button. And I want to bid you a good day. In just case I don't see you later, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Bye!